So yeah, this episode, what did I think about it? I think it was actually pretty dope. Um, how I put this? The fact is that she said to her brother that she didn't know how this was actually happening. And this is a non-spoiler review. We're going to go into the more spoiler review a little bit later on. But there's a conversation that she has with her brother that she didn't know how this was happening. And there's a lot of people that are kind of theorizing that she might be telling the truth. It's still up in the air. You don't really know. One of the things I felt like is that they left a clear indication that maybe she didn't want to see the face of her brother, but that this is supposed to be the MCU's version of Pietro, not the Fox's version, because the Fox's version doesn't. Well, I mean, I take that back. I mean, I had to go back and look at the whatchamacallit shows, but I feel like his version doesn't move like that. It doesn't have like a blue streak on it. So I don't know. The Fox fan in me and the hope that this would be like the segue into getting these characters, on like the MCU side, it's kind of lessened from this episode. It is very interesting and peculiar what's going on when it comes to Vision, though, because of what they're doing with it. I mean, in this episode, there's something that Vision does specifically that I didn't think was actually even possible. And at the same time, it also had a cost and ramification to it. But even at the end of the day, at the end of this episode really lays some really interesting foundations of where things are going to go. If you know the comic I'm talking about, I think that's the route it's going to go. In terms of the kids, I like what they're doing with the kids, but it leaves me kind of like with this kind of cookie cutter, like it's less deep than I thought it was. Because one of the conversations she has with one of the children, as well as the interaction they have with Pietro. Again, this is not a bad episode. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. There's more questions that are layered on, but then there's some things that are actually answered, as well as we don't know who's withholding information, because we found out that that's a possibility as well in this episode. I did like Darcy and the federal agent, as well as Monica in this episode, even though I feel like Monica's on some other stuff. Not just that, there's something that they talked about Monica that leads me to believe or makes me worry that something else is about to go down, and it's not going to be for the good of anybody. And I think that this might boil down into something completely different. I just don't know. Either way, let me know what you think about this episode. As far as a ranking, I'd probably rate it like an 8 out of 10. It was good. I didn't like some of the decisions they made. I can't say too much because I can't go into spoilers. But for now, I'm just going to say that the next episode is really enticing. They definitely left on a really interesting cliffhanger. But if you know the comics and you know what me and Lucas have been saying where this is going to go, it's definitely going down that path. So that's all I got to say. Talk to you guys later. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't going to stop. Until next time, guys. And stay tuned for our full spoiler review of episode 6 as well. Peace.